All right, so here's something most people don't realize. The hardest part of building with AI isn't the actual building anymore. It's knowing what to build. Because right now, you can go from idea to live product faster than ever before. We're talking minutes, not months. But here's the problem. Most people are still thinking like it's 2020. They're planning these massive, complicated apps when what actually works is small, delightful, shareable experiences that solve real problems. So today, I'm going to prove it. We are going to build a complete AI app from scratch. We're going to build the front end, the back end, the AI integration, the whole thing in less than 10 minutes. Here's the idea though. A personalized movie or TV show recommendation app that uses AI. But here's the fun part. It will determine what you should watch based on your mood, and it'll determine your mood by 3 emojis that you supply. It's fun, it's useful, and it solves that I don't know what to watch problem that we all have. And here's the thing. If you could build this, you can actually build anything. Because once you understand how fast the process is, you'll stop overthinking and start shipping. Let's get started. All right, so here's our game plan. 3 super simple steps. Step 1, we are going to use Lovable to generate our entire front end in one shot. Clean interface, emoji grid, animations, the whole thing. We're going to try to be a little bit more specific within our prompt so it comes out right the first time. Second, we are going to connect our project to Supabase. Supabase will be our backend. Now, we're not actually going to be storing anything in the database. We're just going to use Supabase as our connection to whatever AI provider we choose. We're actually going to use OpenAI in this case, which is the company behind ChatGPT. And step 3, we're going to use something called an Edge function in Supabase, which is actually going to do the integration, the connecting to OpenAI so we can generate those movie and TV recommendations based on the emojis that were supplied. Let's get started. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Sunny. I'm a serial founder now on my 4th startup, LightSwitch, where I'm CTO. I'm also a former senior engineer at Bloomberg and Shopify, and currently an adjunct professor at Columbia Business School, where I teach tech. Listen, I've been building software for over 15 years, way before AI was even in the picture. And I've made all the mistakes so you don't have to. My goal for this video and really all my videos is to help you get your ideas out into the world. Let's get started with our first step. All right, so first things first, we're gonna build our front end in Lovable, ideally in one prompt, even though that's not normally recommended, but for the purposes of this video, we will do that. Now, here's the key with prompting with these tools. Specificity matters, but also you don't want to overthink it. So I'm going to keep this super simple. Here is what we're going to prompt. Create an app that recommends movies and TV shows based on your current mood. The design should be super minimal, black and white, but clean and visually appealing. The user should be able to select 3 emojis to represent their mood and then get a personalized recommendation with the title and a brief reason why it matches their vibe. For now, we're just building the front end. I just want to be clear that it's not going to do any back end stuff yet. We're going to do this in incremental phases of the build. So let's see what she comes back with on the other side. While that's running, I want to give you my broader take on all of this. So we've definitely entered the era where the bottleneck isn't the building anymore. It's knowing what to actually build. Like 5 years ago, this tutorial would have been at least 3 hours long, maybe longer. We'd be setting up so many things like React, configuring Webpack, writing CSS by hand, setting up the component library. And now Lovable is literally scaffolding the entire interface, components, styling, interactions while we are talking right now. So I want to be super honest with you about all of this. Right now, if you can ship fast, you have an advantage. But soon everyone's going to be doing this. So the real question becomes, what are you actually going to build that's actually interesting? And you want to get started as soon as possible. So shipping fast, you always just want to optimize for that. All right, so this is what we have. This looks pretty minimal, solid, clean to me. There's definitely some visual improvements we can add, but for now, let's just get this thing functional. So you can select your 3 emojis to represent your mood, and you get a basic recommendation. Now, to be clear, this is just the front end, so this is going to always show the Grand Budapest Hotel, as you can see here, because we haven't actually set up any backend or integrated with AI just yet. So now that we have our front end, let's move on to our next step, which is setting up our backend in Supabase. Right, so step 2 involves setting up our backend in Supabase, but you might be thinking, wait, why do we even need a backend? Can't we just call the OpenAI API directly from our front end? So technically, yes, you could do that, but here's the thing. You should never make API calls directly from your front end, especially if they require secret keys. Because listen, everything in your front end code is visible to the user. I'm going to repeat that again because it bears repeating. And it's probably a very big takeaway I want you to take away from this. Everything in your front end code is visible to the user if they dig into it, because anybody can open the browser console, inspect your code, and grab your OpenAI API key if you have it there. And then you rack up thousands of dollars of API charges on your account, and you don't want that. You always want to go under the assumption that if you have anything exposed in your front-end code, someone can and will take advantage of it. So we need a backend to safely handle that API call, and we're going to use Supabase for this. Supabase gives us a database, and most importantly, it gives us Edge Functions, which is where we're going to store that backend logic. Edge functions are functions that run on Supabase's infrastructure. They're perfect for this because we can call OpenAI from that Edge function, and our API key will never touch front end. So let's go ahead and connect this project to Supabase. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this cloud button here. Now, Lovable is definitely trying to push their own cloud solution, and that might be something that could be interesting in the future, but for now, we're just going to stick to what we know best. So I'm going to click on this, connect it here, and then I'm going to hit continue. I'm going to go ahead and create a new project here by clicking this button. I'm going to name the project. In this case, we'll say Movie Rec. Okay, great. So this is now set up. Now I have to go back to Lovable to now connect what I just created. Continue, and I should see Movie Rec here. Great. So now this is connecting. So while this is running, I want to make another point. Some of you might be wondering, are we storing any of these like recommendations, these movie or TV show recommendations in our Supabase database? And the answer is no for now, not in this tutorial. We're going to keep everything super simple. Every time you click that generate button, it's just going to connect to our Edge function and then call the OpenAI API. Now, if we wanted to save those recommendations, we could do that in a later build, so that way we can build like a history. But for now, just to get it up and running fast, we're just going to skip that step altogether. All right, so it looks like Supabase is now connected to our Lovable project. Let's move on to our third and final step. Okay, so here's where it actually gets fun. We're going to create a Supabase Edge function that calls OpenAI and generates movie or TV show recommendations based off of the supplied emojis. Now, the easiest way to do this is just to let Lovable help us set it up. So what I'm going to prompt here is this: create a Supabase function called get recommendations that takes 3 emojis as input, sends them to OpenAI's API with a prompt to recommend a movie or TV show that matches that mood, and returns the title plus a brief explanation. This will connect with our front end. Okay, let's hit send. All right, so while that's processing, let me show you exactly what's happening under the hood, because even though we're letting AI write this logic, you should understand generally what is actually happening. So the Edge function is basically going to do a couple of things. It's going to receive 3 emojis from the front end. It's then going to create a prompt for OpenAI that says something like, based on these 3 emojis representing someone's mood, recommend one movie or TV show to watch, something like that. And then finally, it'll call the OpenAI API, get a response, and return that to the front end. That's basically what this Edge function is going to do. Also, it looks like it's asking for an API key. You will need an OpenAI API key. You can go ahead and set that up on OpenAI's developer portal. I already have mine here. I'm going to paste it here and hit submit. So it looks like it's done. Let's actually see this in action. All right, let's look for maybe like a sad, sleepy movie potentially. Let's see what we get back. This is going to take a second or two because what it's doing is it's actually integrating with OpenAI's API. All right, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Cool, heartache, memory, that makes sense. Let's do something a little bit more angry. All right, Fight Club makes sense here. I want to do something else. I want to do a really fun, happy movie. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. So this is awesome. We just built a fully functional AI app. Now this is probably a good time to make a larger point. We just harnessed the power of AI in a matter of minutes. I just want us to appreciate how sophisticated our tech stack is at this point, because 5 years ago, this would have been very challenging to implement. Here's the thing. We are living in this era where we all have access to the same AI models that billion-dollar companies are using. So the question isn't whether you have access to powerful tools anymore. The question is, what are you going to do with them? And here's my take. The best products right now aren't the ones trying to solve enterprise-level systems or build the next SaaS giant. They're experiential. They make you feel something, but they also solve a real problem, even if it's a small one. The app that we just built, it solves the I don't know what to watch problem that we all have faced. That's real. We've all been there scrolling through Netflix for 20 or so minutes, but instead of just giving you a drop-down menu, it makes the decision kind of fun. It turns it into kind of like a game. So software used to be about pure utility, doing your taxes, managing your email, organizing your files. But now that AI can handle the heavy lifting, the real opportunity is in creating experiences that are useful and delightful. Things that solve problems, but in magical, unexpected ways. So when you're thinking about what to build, don't just think what problem I can solve. Think, what problem can I solve in a way that makes people smile? Because that's where the gap is right now. Everyone's using AI to automate the boring stuff. Not enough people are using it to build things that are both useful and delightful. Now, going back to what we built, it's fun, it works, it solves a real problem, but here's where it gets interesting. You can take this exact same foundation and customize it in a million different ways. You can build for an entirely different use case and an entirely different vibe. But if we wanted to take this specific product further, here are some angles that we can go. We can filter by streaming service. We can save and view past picks. You could make it collaborative and make it like a joint thing between you and your friends, you and your partner, as to what you're going to watch tonight based on everyone's mood. You can pivot to other domains, recipes for cravings, workouts by energy, books by mood, playlists by vibe. The possibilities are really endless. The point is that the foundation we just built, this movie recommender, it's a template for any kind of personalized recommendation engine. And you could spin up variations of this in minutes. That's what I mean by idea velocity. You're not just kind of starting from scratch every time. You're remixing, you're iterating, you're experimenting, build one, and then you can like learn from another. I also want to take a moment just to review what Lovable created on the back end, specifically the Edge function. So if we go back to our project, so this is our project that we have, you can click on the Edge functions here. Now, this is the Edge function that Lovable itself created with that one prompt that we just did. And you can actually, if you click on the code, you can see kind of like what it's doing. And you could see that this is the specific prompt that our Edge function is now giving to OpenAI's API. So you are a movie and TV show recommendation expert based on the user's expressed mood through emojis, recommend one movie or TV show. So this is actually what's happening under the hood. So if your product is using Supabase and you're leveraging Edge functions, I highly recommend just going to your Supabase project, clicking on Edge functions, and just kicking the tires a little bit and just seeing what's been built. Click on the code. I know people do get nervous around seeing the code, and that's okay. And if you are super unclear as to what's happening, copy the whole thing, paste it in ChatGPT, and just say, explain to me what's happening here for a non-technical person. And it'll just explain in plain English what's happening. So we are now near the end of this video. We just built a working AI app in around 10 minutes from idea to something you could actually share with people right now. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this concept and remix it. Don't just build another movie recommender. Think about what you would want to use. Maybe it's a recipe suggester based on your cravings. Maybe it's a book recommender. Maybe it's a workout generator based on your energy levels. Maybe it's a playlist creator. Maybe it's something completely different. The point is, you can build this in a weekend. You don't need permission. You don't need a team. You don't need funding. You just need an idea and the willingness to ship something imperfect. So once you do that, drop your version in the comments or tag me when you build it, because I am genuinely curious to see what you have come up with. Now, if you stuck around to the end of this video, I appreciate you. I will see you on the next one.